Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. I love how we're protecting him. What? How?
That always happens, yeah.
Oh my God, so infuriating.
Welcome to Guys
Hey everybody, how you doing? Be careful whose music you like, because it might be out of you never know. Welcome to another episode of Guys We
It's the anti-slut shaming podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
I was going to say I'm Corinne Fisher.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's fun. Write us an email, guys. Tell us your story. Give us your problems. Let's figure it out. I love hearing from people. I love people's problems. It's so interesting. It's SorryAboutLastNightShow@gmail.com. Today's subject line: Canadian woman by abusive boyfriend and he gets off free. Hi guys, I need your help. I really want to spread awareness about the case of Kiara Agnew of Dawson Creek, British Columbia, Canada. If you Google her name, you can see the news articles with all the details, but to summarize it, her and her boyfriend went on vacation to Mexico and she was found brutally beaten.
Wonder who did it.
Probably some guy.
What a mystery.
Probably a guy she never met
I don't
before.
know if we're ever going to be able to solve this.
No. Following her death, many witnesses of his years of abuse to her have come forward and shared their stories, as well as her diary entries that go into detail of all that she's endured at the hands of Ryan Friesen. That's Friesen, if you were curious. The news was just released about that the Mexican courts have found him not guilty, even though there is DNA evidence, and just, of course, he did it. Their reason for stating his innocence.
So that's like if I was the lawyer.
Yeah, I mean,
you're like, guys, of course. And that case closed. I rest my case.
Their reason for stating his innocence is that they say her body was beaten too brutally for it to have just been one person. Oh, challenge accepted. And then Ryan Friesen said, "Hold my beer."
Ugh.
Following her death, his hands were black and blue and swollen, as they would be after brutally beating somebody. And yet, they don't believe that's enough evidence either. If you search up Caitlin Levesque, Levesque, on Facebook, which I believe is her sister, you can see in more detail all of the evidence of Ryan Friesen's, again, that's Friesen, allegedly, Chad, get off my dick, abuse. This story breaks my heart, and I wanted to spread awareness and be a voice of Kiara. Please share this with your audience. This is an article that I found after looking it up. 23 found dead in Cancun area hotel. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. A Canadian man accused of killing a woman in Dawson's Creek. I didn't know there was a Dawson Creek, BC.
Neither did I.
Both were in Mexico. Mexican police found 23-year-old Kiara Agnew dead in a laundry room at a resort. Okay, don't these places have cameras? How the fuck does a resort not have a camera?
They may not in Mexico. It depends.
Really?
Yeah.
Cancun? Signs of possible violence. Family says...
Or a lot of times they're broken, in quotes, you know?
Oh. Family says she traveled to the Riviera Maya shore with her boyfriend to celebrate a birthday. Family members of the victim and the accused both confirmed the Canadian man's acquittal. Neither Mexican police nor Canadian authorities have named the now acquitted man. Don't worry, it's Ryan Friesen. The acquitted man's mother... I love how we're protecting him. What? How?
That always happens, yeah.
Oh my God, so infuriating. The acquitted man's mother told CBC in a phone interview that her son was flying back from Mexico to Canada on Thursday with his father and sister accompanying him. Elated, absolutely elated is how she describes her feelings. Okay, are you not sad that your son's girlfriend just got beaten to death? What the fuck? Yo, okay, when I saw that Scott Peterson documentary, the amount that Scott Peterson's family really didn't think he did it is wild.
Yeah.
Because they seem like, especially his sister, she seemed like such a grounded person, like a very logical person. But I'm like, man, even they
But
can
I mean,
be,
think about, like, if someone said your brother murdered someone, I mean, that would be hard for you to believe, would it not?
it would be very hard,
Yeah.
but I would be like, whoa, let's look into this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't go, what the fuck, DJ? I'd be like, probably my instant reaction would be like, you got the wrong guy. But evidence is evidence. I mean, I've swallowed tough pills over a lot of stuff, so it's uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. So thank you for sharing that article. Yeah, that's just another example of women getting the dead end of the stick. Okay. Guys, speaking of domestic violence, I still have a GoFundMe for my friend who was with somebody who beat the crap out of her and verbally and emotionally abused her, and she's now pregnant with a daughter, and is not going to be seeing this person again, but is fighting a pretty hefty court battle, and has no money because he took it. So if you have the funds, there's a link in my Instagram bio at Krystyna Hutch where you can donate, even if it's $1. Like if 100 people donated $1, that's $100. That's amazing. So every dollar really does count. I appreciate you if you've already donated. Thank you so much. And then,
and just like a heads up for that, I tried to donate like a week ago, and like it wouldn't. I was doing it for my phone because I wanted to use Apple Pay, and it like wouldn't go through. So I actually was going to text you.
Oh
like,
shit! Okay, I gotta check that out.
Well, number one, I want to make sure it didn't go through before I do it again. But I'm like, I just was wondering if anyone else was like having trouble with it.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear anything, but
I think most people would do it from their phone because it's easier.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll check it. I'll look into that.
But I was just like,
well, thanks for that update. And I'm not sure when this is coming out, but October 24th is the next Hooch. And then Toronto, Canada, January 17th and 18th, I'm going to be at Comedy Bar. And the week before that, January 10th and 11th, I'll be in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Looney Bin. And as always, my solo podcast, The Voices in Our Heads, it comes out every single Monday. I'm interviewing people who could talk to aliens, so I'm going to get on that. And Patreon, once a week, I do a Zoom for 1 hour where we talk about anything and everything under the sun. You could tell me about your alien story, or you could tell me that your dad raped you, and both are welcome. And we'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. I hate when things are subjects that are so uncomfortable that people don't end up talking about it because it's going to make other people feel uncomfortable. I don't think there's one thing under the sun that I feel so uncomfortable talking about that I won't talk about. So it's a really open space, and it's really cathartic and really healing, and not meant to take the place of therapy. However, it is a great supplement to, like, an adjacent.
Like a vitamin.
Exactly.
And if you're into politics, or you want to get more into politics, or you're absolutely not into politics and you think maybe there's someone that could make politics more digestible for me, I'm your gal. Check out Without a Country. It live streams on YouTube every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. You can call in. We can discuss stories. You can email me stories at withoutacountrypodcast@gmail.com. We talk a lot about animal rights. We talk a lot about domestic violence. We talk a lot about how religion is swiftly sweeping in and taking away our rights in America. And obviously, we're on top of the presidential election. Please make sure you're registered to vote if you are in America, or wherever you are, but specifically we're talking about the American election right now. And I truly mean that. No matter who you're voting for, please make sure you participate in democracy. Otherwise, democracy will cease to exist. And I have a Patreon if you want to contribute to the production of the independent news show that is Without a Country. It's patreon.com/withoutacountry. And I appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
And guys, come and see me at the Laugh Factory in Chicago, November 5th. That's election night, so come out and see me then.
Oh boy.
And then
vote first.
Yeah, vote first. And then come and see me. And then November 6th, I will be headlining the Vixen in McHenry, Illinois. So you can get those tickets at the link in my bio. There we go.
Which is?
At Eric FRETTY.
Good.
Almost did it. Almost
Did it.
Amazing.
Now get that jaw fixed.
Amazing. What's going on with you?
Well, two things that I think are one is a really heavy one, but it's a quick. When Melania Trump, her book.
Oh yeah.
My husband Donald, he's a good man. Like, it's just her fucking. I'm like, what is that accent? But also the production value on these videos she's posting on her Instagram to promote her memoir are a joke. I'm like, what the fuck, lady? You're rich. Mm-hmm. Afford better videographers.
Maybe it's just like an AI, and maybe she's dead. Maybe it's like AI. These AIs get.
You know what though? You know what though? The production value is so bad on her videos that I'm like, what is the explanation? And I went through a couple in my head. Not that one. That one was not one of them, but that one would make the most sense.
What did you think? It was like she's trapped in a closet?
No, just like she just doesn't care. Like maybe because she doesn't English is her, but she speaks English perfectly well. And I'm like, maybe she doesn't understand the production value of videos these days. But I'm like, she has a fucking phone.
A team.
Yeah. So I'm like, there's no every like explanation I threw out in my head. I'm like, no, that's not plausible in any way.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really interesting that Dan Savage pointed out that Melania very fervently stated she was pro-choice. And I immediately go, I think that's going to make people feel more comfortable voting for Trump.
It's historically a tactic that presidents' wives have used who are anti-choice. Yeah.
So I didn't realize, and then Dan Savage pointed out that tactic. I'm like, oh, word?
Yeah.
Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch.
Every time they do anything, I hear the White Stripes song, I think I smell a rat. Every time. That's literally what's playing in my head.
Yeah. So I'm like, but when I first saw the video, or when she first posted that she was pro-choice, I fell for that shit immediately. I was like, well, that's great.
Right. It is convincing.
Good.
It is convincing.
It is convincing.
Because that's my initial response was that too, and I go, no, this is. Then I was like, Corinne. I was like, you're being hypnotized. I was like, this is 100%. No, nothing is as it seems, especially this close. We're in October now. This close to a presidential election, and I'm talking on both sides. Nothing is what it seems. Oh, actually, speaking of, I mean, did you hear all the? Were you done with that? Sorry, I'm like going to another. Yeah, it's an adjacent thing, but the Doug Emhoff allegations. You didn't hear about this?
No.
Oh, wait. Pull him up. Because he was accused of like hitting a woman in a past relationship. And then I think he got like someone pregnant, kind of Dave Grohl style.
Oh, while he was with Kamala?
Mm-mm.
Then I don't care.
But I mean, I think
hitting, I care.
Yeah, I think they're trying.
But you can also be somebody who hits somebody and then you change.
Yeah,
but that's also hope.
I know, but like if Donald Trump did that, we would not be. Wait,
I know.
God, yeah.
Well, like Donald Trump had so many affairs all the time. I don't think he's having affairs anymore.
So yeah,
he's probably just
Harris's husband. This is from New York Post. Harris's husband cheated on wife with nanny and got her pregnant.
Is that true though?
I think it is.
I don't think he has that.
Emhoff acknowledges affair during first marriage after tabloid report. This is from CNN.
The hitting is interesting though.
Yeah, he acknowledged he had an affair during his first marriage after the alleged details of the relationship were actually published initially by a British tabloid.
Okay, mind your fucking business.
His quote is, during my first marriage, Kirsten and I went through some tough times on account of my actions. I took responsibility, and in the years since we have worked things out and have come out stronger on the other side. Nice. I agree. I mean, like
affairs I don't care about. Like affairs, how you handle them, I observe how you handle them for sure. But affairs, I don't know.
And this child doesn't. And it's not like a child exists from this affair. She got pregnant, I think, but had an abortion.
Okay.
An abortion, it seems. So, and then wait, Doug. I had forgotten about this, but then it just reminded me when you're talking about Melania. Hit woman. I love Googling Doug Emhoff hit
Trump's
woman.
team's probably jerking off to that headline.
What, is it from a reputable source?
CNN allegedly struck an ex-girlfriend while she were leaving an event at the Cannes Film Festival in France in 2020.
Kind of crazy to strike someone in public.
He's at Cannes?
Yeah.
What the fuck? He that cool?
Apparently maybe he only dates powerful women. Maybe that's his kink.
That's a great
HuffPost reports Doug Emhoff responds to report that he forcefully slapped ex-girlfriend in 2012. The second gentleman was accused of assault in an alleged fit of jealousy by three friends of the woman who spoke to a British tabloid.
Yeah, we all get carried away.
A spokesperson said this report is untrue. Any suggestion that he would or ever has hit a woman is false.
Is the woman who got hit the one saying this?
Because
that's who I want to. That's the only person I want to hear from.
Wait, the Emhoffs may have lashed out in a fit of jealousy, the friends said, over perceived flirtation by the woman toward a valet. She reportedly slapped Emhoff back. The alleged victim declined to speak to the outlet. That's all there really is.
Oh, okay. So I would imagine, though, if she declined to speak, I wonder if it was just like something that wasn't indicative of his character.
I mean, and also, at the end of the day, he's not running for president.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, we've heard,
but it is kind of cool.
Way worse accusations.
Let's also be sexist against them and hold the man accountable for his woman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like women get blamed for the actions of their husbands all the time.
For sure.
So, yeah, I didn't hear about that, but
I just wanted to be fair.
No, yeah, for sure. It's interesting, but I don't think, to me, that doesn't grip me in terms of like me questioning his character. But also, I don't know any of these people we're talking about. I don't know what their lives are like. Maybe Melania Trump's a fucking fantastic hang. I heard she wasn't, but maybe she is.
Who did you hear she wasn't from?
Comics. But I also
they know her?
Yeah. She's done a few, because Donald's done a bunch of shit with comics,
Right.
like back in the day.
Right.
And Melania's there, and they're like, one comic I was talking to saw Melania like 5 years ago or whatever. And he was like, she's the hottest person alive.
Really?
She's so hot.
Oh.
She's so beautiful.
That's not my kind of hot. That's why I think
She looks like a robot a little bit,
Yeah,
but I
can
she's
see it.
super hot.
Yeah.
Like Jesus, like if her at 22, go fuck yourself. But like I still think she is one of the most beautiful women of, like, she's ugly on the inside, but like so beautiful on the outside. And so I'm like, maybe that's why she behaves the way she does. She just acts like a dumb fuck. But I'm like, when you're that hot, people like are nervous talking to you.
You can be nice. I mean, hottest person I've ever still to this day seen in real life is Carmen Electra, and she's very kind.
That's true.
So it is possible.
That's true. And like Pam Anderson, super fucking hot, grounded
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Very grounded. I guess it depends on who you are.
Well, I don't know if she was grounded when she was
Tommy
with
Lee,
Tommy Lee.
Yeah. Well, he fucked her into the ground, I bet. Like physically, like in a good way.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
But this is switching gears a little bit really quick. But this is something I've been thinking about because we're recording this in October. And I don't know if this might come out in early November. But and this is about war. This is about Gaza and Israel. But
it is October 7th. So
yes, yeah, that's why I've been thinking about it, because I'm like, oh, and I don't, I'm not trying to hold myself. I should say things about the war. No, that's not why I'm saying. I hate when people say things because they think they should. That's not coming from an honest place. But because it is October 7th, when we record this, I was just thinking of this concept of like, man, if I was Israeli and I had somebody I loved get raped and their body paraded around by Hamas, I would spend the rest of my life making sure whoever fucking did that suffered so greatly. I would dedicate my whole life to that. And then I think if I lived in Palestine and we are trying to live and we're getting policed and we're in an open air prison and then we're getting hurled into these areas that are safe and then being bombed, I would also spend the rest of my life making sure that every Israeli suffered or knew what my suffering was. And I'm like, damn, this is how.
I think that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm like, but someone's got to drop. Someone's got to stop. Like,
yeah. Well, that's why I don't think it's something that's, I honestly don't feel like it's.
And like the human nature, I'm like, it's mostly men. It's mostly men. But like, I'm like, human nature is brutal. It can be really dark and really brutal. When you look at wars, like fucking World War I and World War II, like what the fuck? But it's like,
we're also just not that distant from like pretty barbaric times. I mean,
right.
I went to the Renaissance Fair this weekend, which has, you go, oh, it has very little to do with the conversation. I actually think it does because like you think a lot about, like, I always laugh when I go to the Renaissance Fair because I'm like, leave it to white people to be celebrating, one of the most terrible times in human history. Like when you look at like Renaissance style tortures and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, like in the grand scheme of time, we're not that far from the Renaissance period.
Right.
And during those times, literally, if you like fucking wore the wrong color of clothing, you're being, locked in a cage where rats are eating your eyes out.
Right. So we have come far.
But I do feel like this, just humanity started with, you don't do the right thing, you will pay with your life and you will pay with torture and it will be barbaric.
Yes.
And so we've come a long way, but that's also still in our, blood. And
it also at the spine of all of this, it's control. It's control over, like, say my sister, I don't have a sister, but if she was at the music festival and was raped and they paraded her body, the amount of rage that I would feel from that, I would feel so out of control that I would make it so me making it a point to personally end Hamas myself would be a control issue, because I don't know how to control my anger. So like I'm funneling into here, and I feel like everybody's just funneling their control issues at each other. And this is how this shit happens. And it's just really, sad.
Well, and it's also like because it has this religious foundation, so it's two almost,
Very
dueling
heated.
religions. It becomes very dogmatic.
Yeah, sure.
And I think once you get into that, the same as like it's similar to politics with religion in that like these people know like they believe I am definitively right in my beliefs, and this is a greater good, and this is a power that is bigger than human existence in this realm. How can you get around that?
Yeah. That's a roadblock.
I just don't really know how you can.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about.
All
Shabbat
right.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
You okay? How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our guest is great too.
I love this guy.
Very cheery.
Yeah.
I love so you booked him on the show because
Yeah.
you enjoy talking to him.
Yeah, well, I showed up at a show, and I was just it was a very anxiety-inducing day because of some medical things I was going through, and I didn't at the time know him that well. I still don't really know him that well, but he's friends with Ryan Long and Che Durena, and I kind of just gave him a lot of information that I overshared basically heavily with him because I was
Which is such a me move.
Yeah, I just I needed to tell someone about the medical issues I had gone through that day, and he was there. And I realized as it was coming out of my mouth, this is way too much to be telling a person that I knew at this level. But he was so receptive and knowledgeable, actually, about what I was going through as a woman medically that I said, you know what? Let's sit you down on the guys we fuck couch.
Let's get this on these mics, baby.
Yeah.
He's a stand-up comedian hailing from Canada, which will be very obvious when you hear him talk.
He's so perhaps the most Canadian person I've ever met in my life. He's cartoonishly Canadian.
Like think of the most cartoonishly Californian surfer, but make it Canadian.
Make it Canada.
That's this guy.
Yeah.
His special Starting Sober is available to watch right now on YouTube for fucking free. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show,
Danny Martinello.